Hey, what's up guys? In this video I'm going to tell you about the bad PLLs and how to basically execute them, recognize them, and deal with them so that you don't hate them as much as you do currently. So let's just get right into it. Couple quick things before we get going. I want to start off by saying that these are going to be not necessarily bad PLLs for you, but I just consider them the PLLs that most people don't necessarily like. First one is going to be perm. Now, this is actually one of my favorite PLLs because it's really fast and really easy to be sub 1, but a lot of people have problems with it, so I'm going to explain in depth of what I do to make it as fast as I do. I can do it in about 0.7. So basically, what you do here is it's a 4 basically move. It's a 4 algorithm maneuver, and basically what you do is you do the first part. That's usually easy, but the second part is a little hard. You actually have to do a D push with your ring finger, and that does this second part. Then you do the third part easy, and then the last part you do another push. And get into the habit of doing this, being able to push with your ring finger, because in several different algs you're going to have to do that. So push right here with ring finger, and then push again. So it's pretty easy to do. Second one is going to be V-perm, and I don't necessarily hate this PLL. I used to, but you know, the only thing I have with this PLL is that it's really easy for me to mess it up. But it's not a bad alg, honestly. The first alg that I used was this one, which is a nice if you really hate the one that does this. But the second alg you can do is this one. It like flows nice, but it's really long. So I'll post both of them in the description. But the first one that I like to do is this one. Basically, what you do is you do a quick like that. It's R prime U R prime U prime. It's really quick, and then in that time you rotate and you finish it off. And the other thing you do with this is you do that, and you come up with your thumb, and you bring it up to U prime, and then you bring it back down. You take your two fingers. You do 1, 2, 3. This is actually it takes getting used to, but you do push, middle finger push, bring back up push, and it takes a lot of getting used to. And you actually do flick with the double F's U sort of thing, and it just sort of flows nicely. And then you do the last F with your pointer finger. That's just the way that I like to do it. There are some people that like to do the D prime, but honestly I find that to be, I can't really finger trick that in a certain way, and I just find rotating faster. So that's just how it works. Next one is NA perm, and honestly I don't mind this PLL either once I found out the alg. A lot of people like to use the RU R prime U J perm alg, which is really long. It's fast, but it's long, so I don't like using it. The only time that I do use it is when I can see the PLL beyond the OLL, so I can just flow right into it from the OLL. But when I don't see it, and I just get this PLL, like out of the blue, I do this. I do Z, and then I do this. It's basically the same alg twice, and it's really fast. So basically you do... And there's no pushing like the E-perm. It's just really quick. So there's really no getting used to it. It's a pretty straightforward alg, so yeah, it makes N-perm a lot easier. Next up is the NB-perm. This is actually my least favorite PLL next to F-perm, but you know, there is kind of a way around it. The good side about this is that it's a really rare chance of getting it. So basically what you do here is you basically do the inverse of NA, so you basically do this. It's a little harder to get used to the regrips, and it involves a little more wrist movement, but it's pretty quick. And you know, it does take some getting used to, so that's that. But you know, it's a pretty nice alg. I really didn't find any other ones, so yeah, that's NB. Next up is Y-perm, and this isn't really a bad PLL at all. It's actually really nice, but I do see some people not liking it a whole lot, and a lot of times I see a lot of pauses within the Y-perm, so I'm going to actually clear up a little bit of a discrepancy with this. all it is basically two algs combined to one, and it's kind of long. It's 17 moves, but you know, there's honestly nothing scary about it. Just the thing you got to do to really clear up the one thing to never pause is when you do the first alg, you actually, when you go into the second alg, do a thumb push and go right into it. It takes a lot of practice to go from a push F prime to the R, but it makes it really fast and it makes it flow really nicely. And so, but the other thing I see a lot of people doing is they actually do the push with their left ring finger, which I guess kind of is bad, but it doesn't. It makes the sexy move in the second part. It makes this move really hard to do because it slows it down. But honestly, I find it a lot better to have a thumb push. Make it faster. And now the F perm. Honestly, this PLL sucks. It's basically my other least favorite one. I hate it, and I try to avoid it at all costs. But in the rare case that I do get it, I do this. And basically, the alg that everybody does is the R prime, U prime, F prime, and then T perm alg. It's pretty nice. It flows nicely. But I'm going to clear up something that makes this alg pretty fast. So basically what you do is the same thing, push. You R prime, U prime, F prime, and then push right into it. And that's really basically the only way you can make this alg faster is by doing that. So just R prime, push. And you know, there's really no way, but it's all in all, it's a tough alg. But you know, a lot of it is getting faster at T perm, but the only thing you can do is just basically push. So yeah, that's that. And for the last PLL, I'm only gonna go over one G perm because this was the hardest one for me, and the other ones you just gotta get used to, because if you know one, you know all of them because they're all basically the same thing. So for this one, you have GD, and basically what you do is you take an F2L pair out, and then you just flip it back and do that. And I know that was a really bad representation, but here's what you do: take it out, and for this finger trick, you do push, and then you bring it back and do that. So it's kind of hard to get used to. I'm going to do this. And then you're pushing back with these two fingers, and then you finish. So basically take it out, do push, and then I do that right. And yeah, it just takes some getting used to. So yeah, that's it. And yeah, G perm within G perm. This G perm just do really long sucky out, but yeah, it gets done. So yeah, see you guys.